Hey guys, so I'm back again. We're gonna do another tutorial today. It's gonna be a cutting tutorial. Along with it, we're gonna do some bruising around it, so it kind of looks like it's aged a little bit. There's some of that blood pooling up around the cut. Make it blend into the skin really well. This is good for last minute type of spooky, scary effects. You could use this as like a maybe like the 13 Ghosts, Weeping Girl. I can't remember what her name is, but the one that cuts her arms all up and everything. So without any further ado, we're gonna get right into it, okay? So here we go. Alright, guys, here we go. So first, we're gonna be putting just a base of liquid latex down. Yeah, you can do the Vaseline on your arm hair if you want. You don't have to, but if you don't really want to pull out every single hair, then it's a good idea. I'm not going to bother. So we're going to put down that base coat of liquid latex, just like we did with the face with the Freddy Krueger makeup. Nothing too extreme. As you can see, this is a little pink because I tried using some of my gel blood earlier, and it's a little watery, so I'm going to see how that works later on, maybe even with this. We're going to take another cotton ball, and we're going to do, call it like a cry for help wound. Well, maybe not a cry for help. We're going down the street, not across the road. So, we're going to split these up. I'm going to roll them up a little bit. That'll give us our edges. And we're going to just put it right along the edge, or close to the edge of the latex. I'm going to roll another piece. We're going to put that along the side here. So now you can see we have makings of a wound. It's fairly deep, probably about a little over 1/4 of an inch. We're going to use some more liquid latex and dab that over, just like we did with the face, to kind of smooth it out a little bit, give it a little bit more rigidity. And then we're going to use paper towel or toilet paper to put it over that and smooth it out, blend it in. Before we do the toilet paper though, I'm going to use the hair dryer, which I don't have plugged in, and we're going to dry the latex, make it a little bit easier to deal with. And I'm also going to turn down the movie that I got playing in the background, listening to Don't Mess with Zohan. Be right back. Alright, so we'll take the hair dryer. I know it's a little off camera right now, but I've seen a hair dryer before. Just going to hit it for a couple seconds, help speed along the drying process. See some of the spots that I need to do over because I didn't have any latex on them. So we'll blend these two pieces together right here. And also the latex will help you kind of be able to shape and mold the cotton balls. So when you do end up putting on the toilet paper, it looks more uniform. So we'll put some more on the outside, some on the inside here. Doesn't have to be too large or anything like that. You can push down on the cotton to kind of make it more realistic, or you can have it exaggerated, you know, whatever you want to do. Now, in my last tutorial, I mentioned that you want to use toilet paper that's ripped up and not clean-cut square pieces, because the eye is attracted to that sort of thing. And same case with this. We're going to do the same thing. If I can get the toilet paper without. So we got a normal piece right here. We're gonna just tear off the edges. You're gonna lose a little bit of width to it, but in the long run, it helps because you're gonna be able to blend in toilet paper a lot easier this way. And you can always use a little bit more toilet paper to add on to it. So I got my cut right there. We're gonna actually tear this right down the center, because I don't think we're gonna need to put it all the way down. And then we're going to add this right along the edge. Just like that. And as you can see, it starts to blend it in just slightly. There's less of a seam. Take our liquid latex again. We'll dab on over the top. And if you rub it, it tends to kind of remove any texture that you have on the toilet paper. So as you can kind of see, it's getting a little bit better right there. The other good thing about doing the torn edges is when it goes over the top of the cotton balls, I don't know if you can see, but it kind of gives it a torn skin look, which is something that we don't have to worry about after. So we're going to do the same process on the other side. Put down a layer of latex over the top of the raised spot. Try to get this off my finger. And we're going to take our other half of the toilet paper. We're going to try one-handed to put it down and over what we've made so far. Pat it down. And already, it's looking a little bit better. So we'll grab a new piece of cotton ball here. And we're going to apply more liquid latex, kind of rubbing out, like I said, that pattern. And as we're doing this, it kind of blends it all in. The parts that, you know, don't have any latex usually get ripped off, so it's a little bit less blending that we have to do in the long run, which is always nice. Now we've done that. As you can see, I got latex on both sides. Paper towel, just one layer of paper towel down right now is applied. I'm going to hit it with the hair dryer again. Looking at it now, I probably used a little bit too thick of pieces of cotton ball to make this, so it's a little less realistic than I would normally want it to be. Although you can kind of, chalk it up to swelling, inflammation. On the raised parts, you can use some purple, some black, some dark red to make it look like it's swelling up something fierce. I've done that with some of my zombie costumes where I'm more freshly dead than rotting away. So we got this slightly dry, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to peel away some of the excess toilet paper that hasn't been hit by the latex, and just to help blend it in a little bit more. And that looks pretty good. So right now you can see it's like that. I can show you. Doesn't look very blended in right now, does it? But all we need to do now, really, in the grand scheme of things, is to maybe add a little bit more latex to the inside, and then color it in, and then we can add some fake blood, and we can make it look real nice. This is all real time. I'm looking at the timer right now. I'm at 10 minutes, and that's with me explaining, having to go into the living room, having to plug in things after the fact. This is a very, very quick and easy prosthetic to do. It doesn't have to be a gash like this. You can have it, on your shoulder or something like that. If you wanted to do like a freshly bitten zombie victim, you can make something like that. Like somebody bit your arm or whatever. You can map out what you want to do first with a crayon, a pen, a marker, makeup pens. I think the mascara pencils work pretty well. I don't use those. I just go freehand. But we're looking pretty good right now. So we've hit it with the with the blow dryer again. We're gonna hit it with one more layer of latex. And this amount of latex that I'm using right now, you can get over at probably CVS in one of their little starter kit makeup sets for I think under $10, and that comes with the grease paint as well. Some of these kits come with devil horns or something along those lines that you can just use to make yourself look real cheaply, like the devil, clown, whatever floats your boat, really. So I'm just like I said, adding a little bit more latex, putting some latex on the inside. And I'm going to do the same process I did last night with the Freddy makeup, where I'm going to hit it with the latex. I'm going to put the makeup on. I'm going to hit it again with the latex to seal it, and then add on from there. You can do this with the blood too, and it'll actually make the blood stay in place. So if you have it like splattered around, it's not going to move around after the latex is dry, and it also makes it so you don't get it all over the place when you're like going to a party or you're in the car. Another cool trick is if you have theatrical blood that you can get over at CVS, Spirit, Party City, any of those type of places, you can add a little bit of blood to liquid latex, stir it up, and it'll make the latex red. And this, it'll look kind of pink when you first do it. This will dry and it'll look blood red, and the effect is great. If you've seen my faceless zombie that I did a couple years ago, I did that with that, and it looked freaking phenomenal. So yeah, so we're going to hit this with a blow dryer one more time, and then we're going to start putting on some of the makeup. All right, so we've hit it with the with the blow dryer again. It's a little tacky still, but that's okay. I can see a few places where I need to hit it with latex, and I really need to get some sponges, make things a whole lot easier. Or I could go downstairs and probably grab some sponge brushes, but I don't really feel like doing it. This is a lot easier to do, and it's more practical in doing a tutorial because, you know, not everybody's got access to all this kind of stuff. I mean, 6 or 7 years ago, you would, if you were to ask me if I had any of this kind of stuff, and I would say, what the fuck are you talking about? But yeah, so we're going to add, I believe, first we're going to do black. We're going to do black first on the inside, and this will give it depth. So I'm just taking my finger, and I'm going to start rubbing black on the inside. This will make it seem much deeper, more gnarly. And we're going to be putting red over that as well. But for right now, it looks a little bit deeper now. So we got that. And you want to try to get it into all the spots where there's skin showing. You can do it on the sides of the injury. You're not going to get super good coverage using the cotton balls because it's very lumpy, if you can see. But it's going to help with making it look deeper and just nastier in general. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to use a little bit of that kind of dead skin. And I'm going to grab, hopefully, can I get any without this falling over? Need to get myself another piece of toilet paper here so I can wipe off my hand. Try not to contaminate other colors with anything, but sometimes it just happens. So right here, we're going to add that dead skin, and we're going to be layering this quite a bit, so it's not going to look exactly like this when it's all said and done, but this is just a base coat, really. And you don't need to use too much. A little bit goes a fairly long way, and it kind of gives that that look of like a purple, or not purple, you know, that greenish bruising. You sometimes get what do they call it, a lily pad bruise. I can't remember, something along the lines of frog bruise or something like that. But we're just gonna go all over around it so we can blend it in. Once it gets to the point where you're thinking it's good enough, you can stop. I will do it just around the prosthetic, and then maybe a little bit over. So as you can see now, it's more blended in. Now, from right here, this is where kind of ingenuity trials come into effect. What I'll do is I'll put in some red first. Well, actually, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some more liquid latex down. And that's only so I don't muddy up everything that I just did. And I still got some latex in here. So I'm going to dab that on. This is going to set the makeup into place. And the other benefit to doing all this is, just like with the mask, you can take this off and you can reapply it. So if one of your friends was like, "Oh, hey, can you make me something?" And you'd be like, "Yeah, sure, I can," and make it on your own arm. I mean, or leg, or wherever you want to do it, whatever's more comfortable for you. Dry it, take it off, and then all that person has to do is take some adhesive, or even just use some latex and put it on themselves. and then maybe use a little bit of toilet paper or whatever to blend it in, and some makeup, and you'd be good to go. So I have the latex on, and hit with the blow dryer again. Right now we are just about at the 20-minute mark. Again, this is a really easy prosthetic to do. You don't have to go too overboard. You can make it as small or as big as you want. I've done this on my face. I've done this on my arms, my knees, legs. All right, so that's what we got right now. You can see it kind of looks a little deeper. It fades out a little bit of the black, but we're going to be going over that with red and whatnot next. So here goes the red. And it's looking a little bit better. We're gonna use a little bit of well, I would normally use red fake blood right now, and add it to the liquid latex to kind of slather on the inside, and that gives it that very wet look, which it's normally what I do, but this is more of just in a pinch type of deal, so we'll just keep going with what we got. I've added some of the red in there. I'm going to add some more just to really saturate the heck out of the side, so there's none of that clear showing, which isn't very easy when you're just using your hands. We'll put that right on the top there. I could probably use some of that scab gel, but I don't think that's gonna mix all too well with the latex. So there's that. So we can see I got an alright looking wound right now. We're going to add more latex. And I'm just going to go in with my fingertip. It's a little bit easier to manipulate where you want the latex to go. It's going to kind of smear it around as well. So you got to be a little wary about that if you don't want it to go all over the place. But you also don't want it to be too clean, because it's a wound. It's not going to be, it's never uniform. It's very organic, obviously. It's... no mistake is really a mistake, put it that way, because, a mistake that you think may be like really bad, somebody's gonna be like, dude, that's freaking amazing, and it happens to me more often than not, and I'm just like, whatever you say. But from right here, we need more paper towels. Where are my paper towels? Come on. Wipe off my finger a little bit right here. We're at 23 minutes now. Still a very quick prosthetic process. I'm going to dry the inside of this. This will give the red a little bit more of a wet look. We haven't used any toilet paper on the inside of the prosthetic, so that's skin. It's actual skin texture on my arm. And I didn't use a whole lot of latex, so it won't take very long for it to dry. One thing to remember when you're using latex is not to put on too heavy of a coat, because it'll cool up and it'll only dry the outside. That's why a lot of times you may see me poke at a spot that looks like it's still wet. It's because it's dried on the surface, but it's still wet on the inside, so I'm kind of like popping a zit when it comes to that, and making it so it's completely dry through and through. All right, so there's that now. And I know what you're thinking, the yellow doesn't look like it's blended in at all. And you're right, it's not really blended in all that great. So next step we're gonna do is we're gonna take some purple, and we're gonna take stippling brush, and we're just gonna get a little bit of that in there. Hopefully I didn't put too much. And we're just gonna start dabbing away around the edges. We only need to do a little bit. So as you can see, it's like that. Now when you use the latex again, because that paint is wet and it's not sealed, it'll spread around a little bit. And as you can see, it starts to blend out a little bit. And what's gonna happen is it's gonna look more like bruising. So all I'm doing is I'm taking some latex and I am kind of dabbing it down and pushing it away. And that's what you got now. And I know it doesn't really look like much at the moment, but we're gonna hit it again with the blowgun. And once that dries, it's going to show us the purple spread around more. It's gonna look nastier, more dirty. So now we got more blended in, but we don't want to stop there. We're going to use a little bit more black now, and we're going to do the same thing with the stipple brush. And this I like to go more all over because, you know, most of the time the way I see it, you know, maybe this was like a car accident or something like that. And you know, you got road rash, you know, I'll put this down under my prosthetic too to kind of blend it all in. And all of a sudden, this starts looking more blended in than it did before. And you could use more of that, you know, dead skin yellow color on the outside of your arm. And I'm just going to dab this on. I don't really want to smear it around too much because I already got a very good coverage of the black. And like I said, the real good thing about using the latex to cover up this type of makeup is that it will seal the makeup and it'll keep it from just smearing all over the place and getting where you don't want it to be. You know, if you're on a couch or something like that, it's a very good idea. We'll put a little bit of black on the inside too, just to give it more depth, maybe on the edges a little bit. We'll take a little finger and just to get the edges of the cut. We're also going to be using some fake blood as well. But this is just going to make it look nastier. We can use a little bit of yellow too, but I don't have any upstairs right now to kind of give it that you know, muscle fiber, you know, maybe pussy look to it. So we'll add a little bit more latex at the top here, just to seal in that black that we just put in, and we'll put some more on the inside of the wound. Remember, we don't want to add too much in one spot. You can see it kind of starts to pool a little bit. That's not what you want. You want to try to spread that around as much as possible, and that way it dries faster and it dries more even. And we are 30 seconds away from the half-hour mark. Right now, we're going to grab our blow dryer. We're going to hit this. Hopefully, once this is done, it'll look pretty much blended in. We'll add some blood. Alright, so we got a couple thicker spots on the inside there, but this is what you got right now. And, you know, just as a quick prosthetic, it's not too bad. Once it dries fully, it'll look a little bit better. You can use baby powder to mat this down so it's not tacky to touch. You can still move your arm around. You know, I still got full movement. I can still move my hand. You can tell that it kind of sticks a little bit. That's a good thing about baby powder. You'll get that to stop, and also kind of give it more of a normal look. But we're gonna add a little bit of blood to this, and we'll see how it looks. This is gel blood. It's supposed to be realistic. It thickens up after a little while, and I'm just gonna put that on the inside. And I'm going to just rub this along on the inside. Kind of gives it more of a wet look, and we'll Alright, so that's what we got right now. This stuff is not very good, to be honest with you. It's supposed to gel up, but it really isn't doing what it's supposed to do. But as you can see, very cheap, easy prosthetic to do. Let's see, grab a knife or something. And that's it. Total time this took was about a half hour. That's explaining everything too. So you can give it a try. The total cost of material probably be about $5 or $6. That's it. I'll see you guys on the next tutorial if I make another one. Leave me suggestions in the comments below, and we'll see you then. Alright, you guys, so little update. I went downstairs. Wasn't terribly loving the way the blood looks. I did find my bottle of blood, and I'll show you how good this looks when you actually add it to latex. So a little dab goes a long way, and I'll just use my finger to mix it up. The cool part about this is it's going to look really, really good once this goes on. And I need a little bit of paper towel here just to wipe off my hands. As you can see, latex is now kind of a pink color. And this will dry clear, and fake blood isn't clear, so it's going to look pretty nice and nasty, and it'll have that sheen to it, so it'll look like wet blood the entire time. So I'm going to just take my finger and I'm going to add it to the inside, and it's going to look kind of corny at first. It's going to look kind of like a light pink salmon color, but that's okay because that's what we want. Now the other thing we can do is taking the stipple brush, we can dab that in, and we can dapple that around too. Now this will make it look like it's kind of bloody all over the place. Without going too overboard, hopefully. I also grabbed baby powder so the rest of the arm doesn't look too shiny. So, from that, I'll just blow dry it one more time. Hopefully this will turn out the way that I think it's going to turn out. I'm going to do one more layer on the inside. Now, gel blood would be really good to have in this case because it'll stay in the crevices and won't leak all over the place. The stuff that I have is very watery, so it's not very applicable to this. But your finished result right now is this. I don't know if you can see all too well. It's very shiny, so we're going to take some baby powder. We're going to just put a little bit into a makeup brush. Doesn't need to be too much. Just a little bit. Sadie. And put that around the edge. We don't want to get it on the inside because we want the inside to still look pretty wet. And then we're going to take a little bit of toilet paper and some water, and we're just going to wipe off the excess baby powder. Don't ask me why it works, but it does. It gets rid of a lot of the sheen to it all. Makes it look a little bit more realistic. So there you have it. Easy to do prosthetic that you can add more blood. It's pretty simple to do. So yeah, like I said before, questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to see me try to do. Tonight I might do a throat piece, which is really just the same thing, just across the neck. The hard part about that is that you know, you have a lot of movement and it can come off pretty easy. But if you look now, my arm can move, my wrist, without the latex getting stuck to it. And you're going to lose a little bit of adhesion on the inside, but with everything going on right here, it stays pretty well. So until next time, guys, I'll see you later.